everybody. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Kairos, TINA. If you could please hit the like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. I've done close to 2,000 videos and no one is watching. So if you could please hit the like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. And we are in season 7, disc 6, episode 276. Can you believe we've done all 176 episodes? There's a 2 here, but they started with 101. I can't believe we've done them all. If you haven't watched them, go back and watch them. I've spent all this time on them and nobody's watching them. Oh, and if you could also check out Romantic Times Book Review Magazine Flashback Mondays, where we talk about all the books in this magazine, it'd be most appreciative. We start out preemptive strike with a captain's log stardate 47941.7. The Enterprise is en route to a briefing on the situation in the demilitarized zone along the Cardassian border. Meanwhile, we're celebrating the return of an old friend. Who could that be? So we have Crusher welcoming Ro back. She says it's good to be back. Troy says congratulations on your promotion, Lieutenant. Ro says same to you. Troy says thank you. Jody says I understand that advanced tactical training is a real picnic. Right. Dr. Crusher says, did you see the buffet? This is real Bajoran Ferenga, whatever it is they're reading. You shouldn't have gone to all this trouble, really. We wanted to know how glad we are to have you back. Okay, we can just skip this stuff. Then we're on, in the hallway. Hold on. Now, it's weird, but she's in there talking with Geordi, Dr. Crusher, Troy. She sees Picard walk out of the room. He hadn't approached her in the group. He didn't come over and say hi in the group. He left the room. He left 10 forward. And she sees him leave. She has a little more conversation with the group. Then she leaves. And when she leaves the room, Picard is standing outside the door waiting for her. It's like he knew or something. Picard says, you seem a bit overwhelmed by all the attention. Well, to tell you the truth, I really want to see everyone. I'd just rather do it one at a time. You look very fit, Lieutenant. Tactical training seems to agree with you. You know me, I enjoy a challenge. That school is more than a challenge. Half the class washes out every year. Somehow I didn't think you'd be one of those. Captain, I want to know that I really appreciate you recommending me. If it weren't for you, my life would be a very different one right now. And then Riker calls Picard to the bridge and lets him know that they have received a distress signal from a Cardassian ship near the demilitarized zone. I missed it, but and I just didn't want to go back and do it again. But when Ro sits down at the chair, Data gives her a look. It was interesting to see him do that. So the Cardassian ship relayed a distress signal, but it was cut off before we could find out what was wrong. Rose says, I have the ship on long-range sensors. It appears to be under attack by several small ships. Can you identify them? No, sir. They're not transmitting identification codes. I'll scan their warp engines. Sir, sensors indicate the attacking vessels are Federation ships. What's going on here? So they get to the location and there's a battle going on. Picard opens up a channel. To all Marquis ships, call off your attacker will be forced to engage you. Worf says no response. You are Federation citizens. Your actions are in violation of our treaty with the Cardassians. Call off your attack. Data says no response. Mr. Worf, are we in firing range? Not yet, sir. Arm phasers and photon torpedoes and stand by. Riker's thought, I never thought we'd be firing on our own people to protect a Cardassian ship. Data says the Marquis ships are regrouping, sir. They are closing in on the Cardassian vessel. The Cardassian shields are down to 30%. They may not be able to withstand another hit, Riker says. Sir, we are in weapon range. Mr. Worf, can you detonate a torpedo spread between the Marquis and the Cardassian ships? Yes, sir. Then do it. So then they bring the wounded aboard, and Dr. Crusher is treating the wounded. And so those are the wounded. Picard's in there too. So he's saying, I'm sorry that we could not come to your aid sooner. I suppose we're lucky you came at all. Lately, Starfleet seems to look the other way when the Marquis attack. I can assure you that is not the case. We are doing everything in our power to control them. The fact that my ship was attacked suggests that your efforts have been met with limited success. They came at us with photon torpedoes and Type 8 phasers. Tell me, Captain, how do you suppose that a group of civilians acquired those weapons? I can assure you it was not through official channels. Maybe it was through underground channels. Starfleet does not condone the Marquis' action in the demilitarized zone any more than your government would condone the paramilitary actions of a Cardassian civilians. We have taken measures to deal with our colonists who have armed themselves. Considering that they destroyed a warring freighter less than a week ago, I would say that your efforts are meeting with limited success. Captain, if the Marquis are not stopped, the situation will continue to escalate to the point where the Cardassian military will have no choice but to take matters into their own hands. Then we get a supplemental. Captain's log supplemental. Gull and his crew have left the Enterprise, and we proceeded to our rendezvous with Admiral Nechev. So then Nechev is with the captain, and she says, Evak manages to make the Cardassians sound like helpless sheep being preyed upon by Federation wolves. The truth is, we caught the Cardassian government supplying its colonies in the demilitarized zone with weapons. Picard says, Gulick assured me that they had stopped that practice. Nietzsche says, how comforting. Admiral, this Marquis situation has you worried. Believe me, Captain, if we were living that close to the Cardassians, I'd keep a phaser under my pillow, too. But in the last weeks, we've seen signs that the Marquis are moving beyond self-defense. Their ranks are growing. They're acquiring ships' weapons. They seem to be preparing for more aggressive military posture. We've got to put a stop to them before the entire demilitarized zone ignites. But before we stop them, we have to find them. They seem to be scattered in small cells around the zone. We don't have reliable intelligence about any of them. Perhaps you need an undercover operative. Oh, so that's why Rose here. And tell me, all you longtime Star Trek friends, is that the last time we see her until Picard? Is she in any of the movies at all? I don't think so. And so we don't see her till Picard again. So at least we know she lives. Oh, so many computer issues today. Alright, I can't find a two-shot. It might come up later, but I didn't find it. So Picard goes to propose to her that she goes undercover. Duh! Could have seen that coming. Computer! So then we're in a bar. Humans, Vulcans, Klingons, Ro in civilian clothes, and Worf and Data in the corner. Alright, this is gonna be hard. I'm having computer issues. But she kisses this guy to pretend to avoid being seen by Worf and Data as they walk in. Worf and Data talk to the bartender. Has he seen a Bajoran lady? The bartender says, no, you just missed her. They pretend not to see her. I don't get it. I guess they're setting it up for her, what you call it? Leaving. I forget what the word is. I can't think of it right now. So she's having a talk with this guy. And he asked her if he really killed this guy. And she said no, but Starfleet does think that she killed somebody. And that's why she's a wanted person. That's how she's going to make her infiltration undercover. So now she's being questioned. Don't be afraid. You're not in danger. What's your name? Did you kill that Cardassian soldier? Who are you? We're the people who saved you from Starfleet. Thanks, but I'll be going now. He points a weapon at her. Did you kill that Cardassian? Yes. That's a risky thing to do in a demilitarized zone. You can end up being hunted by Starfleet and the Cardassians. Then why did he risk bringing me here? We're asking the questions. Who are you? My name is Ro Laren. I grew up in the Bajoran camps. That would explain why you have no love for the Cardassians. I know they're capable of. They tortured my father to death and I was forced to watch. Where are you living now? Nowhere. I was a Starfleet officer, but I was court-martialed and sent to the stockade on Jaros 2. Not exactly what you call Starfleet material. When were you on Jaros 2? What difference does it make? We want to check your story. When were you there? Starfleet let me out about 3 years ago because I agreed to come work for them, mostly having to do with the Bajor, but I got tired of them watching them placate the Cardassians, so I left. I resigned. Officially, no, that's part of the reason why they're looking for me. What were you doing on Amarema? Look, I've answered your questions. I'd like to know who your people are. Let's say we sympathize with those who oppose Cardassia. Are you Marquis? What if we were? If you were, I would ask you to join and help fight. We'll check your story. I'll keep and then they leave and they go check our story. And he's going to have a talk with her. The one guy's going to sit and have a convo. So then they go for a walk outside. Aren't you taking a chance by letting me see all this? What if my story doesn't check out? What if I'm not who I say I am? Well, then we'll have a problem, won't we? Are you Marquis or aren't you? Many of these people here are. Starfleet considers you outlaws. They're afraid you'll destroy the peace treaty. They don't understand the situation in the zone. I've lived in Jemaya when the treaty was signed. The colony suddenly found itself in Cardassian territory. Some of those chose to stay, take our chances. Then one night I was dragged from my bed and beaten. The authorities clucked their tongues and agreed it was an unfortunate incident and did nothing. I'm not surprised the Cardassians intend to make life so unpleasant for Federation citizens they leave. I wonder if that was that planet where Wesley had his thing with the Traveler, that those people wanted to stay there so desperately that the Cardassians let them stay, and now they're trying to drive the people out by intimidation, maybe. He says an old Bajoran friend of mine used to make it. He was stronger. He was killed many years ago fighting the Cardassians' occupation of Beja. I miss his company and his haspet. My father used to make the strongest haspet you've ever tasted. Everything seems mild by comparison. Did he teach you how to make it? Yes, but I haven't tried in years. If you would make the brine for a really strong haspet, I mean eye-watering, tongue-searing, you'd make an old man very happy. I would enjoy making that again. I've checked with my Starfleet sources. Her stories is true. So welcome to the group. So she's invited to the council meeting. They've heard a rumor that a trader coming from Pendy said he could verify the Cardassians are going to start supplying their colonists with biogenic weapons. I thought every shipment coming into the zone was searched. The Cardassians always seem to find a way around problems like that. Then we're going to have to make a preemptive strike. Send a message to the Cardassians that we won't sit still while they kill us with toxins. But we can't mount a strike without medical supplies, and our stockpile is dangerously low. If we put in a request for more, it'll draw suspicions. I can get medical supplies, she says. I served on the Enterprise. They always have extra med kits on hand for relief missions. You're wanted by Starfleet. They're not going to give you med kits just because you ask for them. I have no intention of asking. I'm going to take them. How? The Enterprise is a fortress. I know its security systems. Give me a ship, I can do it. They're gonna let her do it. And of course, the Enterprise knows she's coming. This whole thing is a setup. So they get in their ship, and they're trying to get into uh, they're approaching the Federation border. How do you plan to get out of the demilitarized zone without being searched at one of the checkpoints? We're going to cross the border here. There are sensor buoys all along the border. If we cross anywhere other than a checkpoint, Starfleet will send a ship to investigate. With the right security codes, we can disable the proximity detectors on the buoys. Starfleet changes those codes all the time. I know the encryption algorithm. If I can access the buoy's protocol system, I should be able to figure out the codes. See what happens then. So then we get a voiceover from the captain. Captain's log, stardate 47943.2. It's been over a week since Lieutenant Rowe left the Enterprise. We have yet to receive any communication from her. Riker says we picked up a request for emergency assistance from a Federation science ship in the Toppin system. Are there any other ships in the vicinity? We're the closest. Helm, set course for the Toppin system. Mr. Data, will you signal the science ship we're on our way? Data says it's unlikely that they would receive our communication, sir. The Toppin system contains an unstable protostar. It generates significant magnetic interference. Can we use our sensors to find them? Most of our sensors would be ineffective, although our directional array should cut through the interference. That array has such a narrow scan field, we might as well break out the palm beacons and try to find them that way. So then they're in the ship, and they're trying to get through, and she's putting in the codes, and the bridge is looking for the ship that they lost. And Data says he's unable to find the vessel the distress signal was sent. And then Worf says, Captain, the computer has detected a piggyback communication on the distress signal. Can you decode it? Then we go back to Rose's ship. She's trying to do some stuff. And then Worf says, the message is difficult to decode. Interference has gobbled much of the transmission, but it seems to be from Lieutenant Rowe. Rowe's on that ship? Sir, a vessel of some kind is attempting to penetrate our aft shields. Let it through. So they let it through. And then Worf tells the captain that a quantity of medical supplies was beamed from Cargo Bay 7. Data says that vessel has penetrated our shields. It is the same design as the ships used by the Maquis, and it's moving off. Let it go. There must be someone with her. We should make it look as though we tried to stop them. Worf locked phasers on their previous position and fire. Now we know what they mean by advanced tactical training. Riker says. To fire and miss on purpose. So then she's reporting what happened. Yeah, we did this. We drove up here and we parked behind the ship and we went through their sensors and we beamed the stuff on and she did this and she did this. It was amazing. And they bought it. They really bought it. That she did all this stuff and she pulled all this stuff off. They believed her. I got a Brooklyn Bridge to sell you. So then we get a captain's log supplemental. Having earned the Marquis's trust with her raid on the Enterprise, Lieutenant Rowe has been given access to a ship and allowed to leave the settlement by herself. Yeah. She's reporting to the captain. There are rumors that the Cardassians are supplying their colonists with biogenic weapons. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Every ship that enters the demilitarized zone is searched. The Marquis are convinced that the Cardassians are finding a way around those searches. You know, we could make use of them. Sir, we've come up with a plan that has potential to seriously curtail the Marquis. We want to give them a target so threatening to them that they will be willing to commit as many ships and people as possible in order to destroy them. What do you mean, give them a target? Biogenic weapons, for example. You could provide them with intelligence that would show the Cardassians are in fact supplying their colonists with them. That would get their attention, all right. You could tell them that in order to get past the checkpoints, they're shipping the components for these weapons through third parties, and then we could pull a convoy and send it into the demilitarized zone. When the Marquis attack, Starfleet will be waiting for them. They're gonna set up a trap. So then she fills them in. So then she has another conversation with him later in the day. When this is all over, we'll celebrate. When it's over. When Cardassi realizes they can't intimidate us into leaving our colonies. Something tells me it'll be a long time before we're celebrating. Don't be discouraged, Ro. It'll take time, but the important thing is we not to give up. I've spent 10 years in the camp. I don't give up. I've been thinking a long time about our celebration will be like. We'll have a huge dinner. We'll make haspit and I'll make blueberry pie. We'll drink wine and we'll dance. And they continue to talk about old times and traditions. So then she meets Picard in the bar. Uh, are you alone? I hope not. Why don't we get acquainted? There's a table in the back. There's more private. I'd like that. So they move to the corner. We have to cancel the mission. Why? The Marquis didn't go for the bait. But there are only 6 ships. We can even cut back that number. It's the commitment of resources, a grouping so many of the Marquis together at once. They'll feel it makes them too vulnerable. Every intelligent report that I get from Starfleet suggests the Marquis are eager to expand their strikes. They want to escalate their activities. Now you're telling me this isn't true? It's probably different in every cell. The people I've met tend to be more conservative. I'm sure there are others a more militant attitude. Lauren, what's going on? Do you have the money I asked you to bring? Yes. Put it on the table. What? By this time you should be negotiating my price. When you sent me on this mission, I thought I could do it. Even though it meant helping Cardassians, even though it meant betraying people who are fighting against them. Now I'm not sure where I stand. Are you back? You want to back out of this mission? Sir, I don't want to let you down. I swear that I don't. This has nothing to do with me. It's about you. If you back out now, you'll throw away everything you've worked for. We've committed to this mission. My only question is for you. Can you carry out your orders? I could put you on board an inquiry for having lied to me about this operation. I would certainly could have you court-martialed if you sabotage it. It's your decision. And she's like, all right. I'll carry out my orders. My computer. Okay, so then we're back on the Enterprise. Captain's log sentimental. We've received word for Commander Riker and Lieutenant Rowe that the Marquis will attack the convoy as planned. Our ships have taken up position in the nebula to wait for them. Data says, I've established a relay link with the sensor probe we left on the perimeter of Nebula. This is the convoy. We are expecting the Marquis to attack, to force across the border from the demilitarized zone. As soon as they cross the border, we'll intercept them. Captain, in order to ensure that the ship Commander Riker and Lieutenant Rowe are piloting does not come under fire, I have relayed their warp signature to the rest of the attack force. Sir, the Marquis squadron is coming into sensor range. Go to red alert. And then they go to Rowe's ship, and they go back. I hate the back and forth. I hate the back and forth because I'm having computer issues today, and I can't do the back and forth. So Rowe is on the ship, or she's getting a contact from Santos, and says we're crossing the border in a minute, and she says acknowledge, and Rowe is with Riker. Starfleet can't make its move until we're out of the demilitarized zone. We're to break formation and take cover in the nebula as soon as they appear. The ships in the convoy are raising their shields. They've spotted us. So then we're back on the bridge. So the vessel being piloted by Rowe is firing a low-intensity particle beam into the nebula. What is she doing? The polarized beam is being created by... The polarizing effect being created by the beam may make it possible for us to be detected. Can you counter the effect? I will attempt to do so, Data says. Rose said, there's a Starfleet attack force hiding in it. I see it. Squadron leader to all ships, abort the mission. Sir, the Marquis ships are breaking formation. Have they crossed the border, sir? No. They are withdrawing. Captain, Lieutenant Rowe's ship is not retreating with the others. It's heading toward us. When she comes aboard, take her into custody. So she blew the mission at the last minute. She blew the setup. Computer. Oh, so I accidentally skipped forward, and with the computer problems. But Rowe tells Riker that she's not returning to the Enterprise. She's going to go back with those people, because she feels she belongs there. And Riker comes in and gives his report and says that she decided to stay with those other people. And he gives her report. Picard doesn't take it. Riker puts it on the desk and leaves. And that's how it ends. So that is the end. Season 7, Disc 6. We're finished. We're going on to Season 7, Disc 7, final episode. Final one. Until the movies start. You know, I always thought that they would do Voyager movies, but they never did. Always wished for a Voyager movie. They did regular Star Trek movies. They did Next Gen movies. They could have at least done Voyager movies before the cast gets too old. Way too old. Have a good one. And please hit the like and subscribe.